you were like, I'm losing out on valuable instruction by not having this option, and or like not having an option to tack on an extra class, because I guess like, you know, I don't know. It's weird. I didn't think people would be that up in arms about not having lunch. All right. So this ear. Mm-mm. So I I think this is the appropriate width. We're gonna try it. It's a first run. It's a rough draft. I might like not go as wide next time, but we'll see. So round 5. Single crochet around. So we'll see how many times we have to do this. And then Stavak also said, I remember my first time coming home from work after graduating from college. It was glorious. Must be nice, Stavak. Must be nice. I know, I took the extra long route. We know that. But on the one hand, like, while I sometimes lament that I never had the traditional college experience, I am glad that I at least have money for food this time around, because the first time I tried college, it felt like a burden to my parents. I got down to $8 in my checking account, and most of what I survived for food was leftovers from home, blueberry Pop Tarts, and the kindness of strangers, so at least this time around I can afford to feed myself. So that's a plus. Let's see, and Clover also says, if you're pumped on Adderall, you don't miss it, especially if you don't need it. Oof. Oof. Alright, after this row, I think that's good. We're now going to change to the black. And just kind of continue on. Who knows, I could be misinterpreting it, but then again, LeChonk's ears do extend past his face quite well, so... So I'm going to write in my pattern. Change to black after round 5. But yeah, school lasts a long time. It's weird. At least, like, the good news is, like, my brother does get a study hall. So, I appreciated study hall because that gives you an opportunity to, do your best not to come home with any work. Because that's, I don't have any children, but that is one thing I disagree with, that the idea that... Because I feel like, by the time I get home, I don't want to do any more work. And I'd like to have more of, like, time to myself. And I remember sometimes, especially for math, that I'd be, like, basically stuck doing homework all night. And then Stavak, you were in band. What was always gross when I was, like, briefly in jazz band is that they would, like, yell at us for not practicing, and then it's like, bro, I literally have other classes. Sometimes, like, there's no time, but they're like, hey, treat us like a regular class, and it was always a struggle. But just like I was telling my nail tech before, is that high school is a wild time, because you spend so much of your time, like, definitely being a child, and all of a sudden high school shows up. Alright, so that was the end of 6. The start of 7. Time in. All of a sudden high school shows up and it's like, alright, you're basically an adult in training now. What are you gonna do for the rest of your life? And it's a weird transition. And sometimes I wonder if there would be an easy way to do it, but like not really. Let's see. Clover says, I finished numbering my brontograph for my daughter's sweater. Ooh, so am I reading this right? That brontograph means you're doing a sort of a you're gonna do a brontosaurus on a sweater and you're graphing it out. Let's see. All right, yeah, maybe I should do. I guess I could have done smaller ears. It's hard to say. When I decrease, it'll probably. We'll see. I might have to take it up to a vote. It's the end of 6, start of 7. I can imagine that that your daughter has like some pretty sick winter hats lined up for winter. A lot of times, like the hats that people come up with for children are pretty cute. I'm always partial to like the little bear ears hat that people make for newborns. Ooh, almost caught my stitch marker there. I haven't done many Grafgan type stuff, but they can be fun. That's fair. I have a pixie cut going on, so I'm actually excited to even like have like a hint of being able to wear hats for a change. Let's see. End of 7, start at 8, I guess. And then after this, I think we'll decrease slightly. So I think that'll be enough. I think some of my favorite winter items to crochet are actually fingerless mitts slash gloves. Because hats or whatever, because honestly, like, we see I have afro textured hair. Usually hats don't work for me, so I have to go with like hoods. And scarves are decent, but if you choose to like try to like walk around and enjoy yourself, gloves and fingerless mitts are where it's at. Let's see. Clover also says the only exception is her pink and purple Santa hat. I feel like that's a pretty good exception. But yeah, that reminds me. I think next week's craft night, I put it out there that it's like, hey, if people want to get started on their winter projects, to go on ahead. And there's a 40th birthday party that we're going to that's 80s themed. And my husband and I were going to go as Waldo and Carmen Sandiego, as like, haha, they'll never find us because copyright, those things came out in the mid 80s originally. But I'm lazy and don't feel like finding a red trench coat, slash I don't want like a Party City quality one, so I think I'm gonna be lazy and we'll just be Wendy and Waldo, because I can get plenty of red and white yarn, and then think about getting some satin and maybe figuring out how I can make a satin lined cap for myself. Alright, back to my pattern. Run. Single crochet, 2 together, single crochet, repeat around, fasten off. because it's kind of fat, but let me go back to my reference. Yeah, hopefully this will work out. Let's see. Clover says, it is a variegated yarn, so it's slightly camo, but not. I think I know what you're saying, because I've made pillows that were similar to that, and it actually looked like camo because, like,